Biden and Donald Trump neck and neck in every swing state. According to the new numbers from the Wall Street Journal, Trump leads Biden in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Nevada, and Pennsylvania by figures that are all within the poll's margin of error. In Wisconsin, the survey shows the two candidates tied at 46% each. The poll also finds negative perceptions about the economy remain a problem for Biden. 63% of swing state voters say the U.S. economy overall is not so good or poor condition, while 36% say it's in excellent or good condition. But when asked to rate the economic conditions in their own states, the majority of voters in 5 of those 7 swing states say it's in excellent or good shape. Joining us now, CEO of the Messina Group, Jim Messina. He served as White House Deputy Chief of Staff to President Obama and ran his 2012 re-election campaign.
Jim, as we always say, these are snapshots. The two things that I'm looking at right now, obviously, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, so critical. They're all very close. I'm surprised by, again, I would never guess this 5 years ago, that Joe Biden continues to perform best in Wisconsin. That Wisconsin, of all states, seems to be a state. Older white guys actually aren't thrilled with what's happening with Donald Trump. Georgia, tighter in this poll than I've seen in other polls. So I think it shows, again, a good trend in Biden's direction, even though Trump's ahead a little bit. But this is what I want you. This is what I want. Some 1 or 2 people in the Biden White House may watch this show. And I want you to talk to them right now on this conundrum. You go to, and all the polls have shown this. You go to individuals. How are you doing economic? I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. And then this poll goes, how's your state doing? Oh, it's doing great. It's doing really well. How's the overall economy? Oh, it sucks. I mean, there has been this discordant sort of thinking has been out there for about 6 months now, where 75% of Americans say they're doing really well economically. In this poll, they're saying their states are doing really well. But you turn it to a general, how's America's economy going? And I don't know, do they just run to the ideological corners? What's going on there? And what does Biden do to fix that over the next 6 months?
Well, Joe, you're exactly right. A couple things that I think are incredibly important. In the end, voters are going to vote in their own best interest. They always do. And it's why I've always been more optimistic than the polls, because voters think their own lives, their own economy, their own state economies are better than they were 4 years ago. And they're getting better every single day. And that's why I agree with you. In 12 polls out in the last 2 weeks, Joe Biden continues to have momentum since the State of the Union. You highlighted the state that I care the most about, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is the tipping point state. In over 2/3 of the simulations we do every night, Wisconsin decides the presidency. And once again, Joe Biden is strongest in that state for a variety of reasons that you just looked at, especially the economic reasons. 75% of the people in that state say their personal economic situation is getting better. On the national question, I do think there's several things holding over it. One of them is immigration. I think we need to address the issue of immigration and talk about it, because it is something that worries voters and has them concerned. And after you get past those issues, we can go back to saying, is your life better off, and how do we make your life better off? And that's a sweet spot. That's where Joe Biden, Joe, has always been the best candidate we have seen in talking to these voters about their personal economic situations.
So, to your point, former President Trump was in Wisconsin and Michigan yesterday talking almost exclusively about immigration, talking about migrant crime, as he put it, telling stories that weren't true, talking about phone calls he had with victims' families that he didn't have. We can go down the list of those things. But you're right about the economy, which is the unemployment is at historic lows. Stock market seems to break a new record every week. You don't have to take our word for it. Consumer spending is up. People are spending money in this economy. So is it that question that Joe was just asking you about the overall health of the economy, is that kind of a stand-in for how people are feeling about the state of the country or our politics or the ugliness of it? Like, how do you solve that riddle?
Yes, and I think it's a little bit of the stand-in for voters. Like 3 weeks ago, 71% of Americans didn't think it was going to be Trump versus Biden. And they're now starting to say, okay, it is Trump versus Biden. And that's the stand-in for that as well, because that might not be their dream scenario, their dream matchup, but it's the matchup that we're going to have. And so they're starting to grapple with this. And as time goes on, my theory of the case has always been time needs to go on. People need to continue to feel better. The economic numbers are titching up. People's personal consumer numbers are titching up. Those are important touchstones for how they're going to vote in November.
So, Jim, it is never too early to talk about 270, the magic number. No. And there's some development.
Let's talk about the map.
Yeah, let's talk about the map for a second, because there's a buzzing about Nebraska right now. The governor there has thrown his support behind an effort that would no longer allocate the electoral votes by congressional district. Because right now, it's 5 votes there. Typically, Republicans get 4, and President Biden, Democrats get the 1 from Omaha.
That's right.
If that changes, and we don't know that it will, the state legislature is going to look at it. But if that changes, that takes away Biden's best path to win, because if he wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, but loses the other swing states and no longer picks up the 1 in Nebraska, 269, that leads playbook this morning, the alarm among Democrats that this is possible. What do you think?
I think this is what the modern Republican Party has become. They're now changing the rules in the middle, trying to benefit themselves. This is the hell that Donald Trump hath wrought. In the middle of this, changing the rules 200 days before the election is ridiculous. I think you're right. I think there are real simulation problems. When you look at the map, that 1 electoral vote really matters in the combination of other things. Then you need another state. Yeah. And so the easiest pathway to victory has always been the Midwestern 3 states combined with Nebraska. Something tells me they're not going to get away with it this easy, and there will be a national outcry for trying to change the rules here. But it looks like they're going to look at it.
All right, so everyone stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to continue with Jim.
Jim, can I ask Jim real quickly? Did Maine give the 1 electoral vote to Trump in 2020?
Yes, sir, they did.
So Trump did get that one state. All right, so if Nebraska goes all or nothing, Maine should just go all or nothing, and it balances each other out, right?
Well, there you go. Look, see, Joe, you're fixing it right here on national TV.
That's how a Republican. That's how a Republican thinks. Like,
you're going, oh, as a Democrat, oh, you can't change rules in the middle of the day. I'm the Republican that goes, former Republican, but still campaigns like one that goes, you know what? We'll just change. You change in Nebraska, we'll change in Maine, and then let's go get a Big Mac.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.